Yamla, Yahweh, Bashai, Waha, Raha, Kwadash. Double honors to the apostle of GMS who teach and rule well. Peace and salutation to the brothers across the globe, four corners of the earth who are, doing the work with sincerity, truth and sincerity. And Shalom Wahab to the brothers and the sisters who are awaiting the return of our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shai. Right, so as you can see, the title is Practicing Matthew 18 and 15, right? Practicing Matthew 18 and 15. Because the Bible do say that we are judges, We are the judges, and we have to judge the matters in Israel. When you go out and you teach, you judge in Israel, you're judging Israel. But then you got to judge as well in within the church, And as a judge, it's very important to judge the right way. Because I'll give you an example. When those judges in the world, those secular judges, when they judge, with partiality, well, people get sentenced for much more longer. There's many cases, especially in America, where people go judge, sentenced for years and years and years unlawfully, and 20 years after they're found innocent. So that means the judgment, while they were being prosecuted wasn't right? And also, we are rehearsing. You are rehearsing your position of being a judge in the kingdom. And since we are not saved by keeping the law, because we cannot keep the law 100%, us being saved by grace through the faith of Yahweh Shai, through the faith in Yahweh Shai, that means your crown and what your crown will represent will be based on your rehearsal. And part of the rehearsal is how you judge. You see, you cannot judge people in the street. Let me go to 1 Corinthians before I carry on. Let me go to 1 Corinthians quickly. It just came in mind, and now I'm just going to read it quickly before I carry on. I don't want to make this long, but I need to speak about certain things to enlighten us. And these lessons that I'm making, is in no way, a rebuke. It's just, learning how to talk to brothers and, telling brothers about how to do it, And remember, I'm teaching myself as well, right? I'm teaching myself as well. Because when the revelation comes, it's for me as well, and I decided to share it. So
my favorite thing about Tide is that it's very user friendly. It has a super sleek interface, and I just love.
Right. So if you go to right, you say 1 Corinthians 11 and 31 says, "For if we would judge ourselves, we should not be judged." Right. So if you, obviously it goes into many layers. Yeah, there's a context that come with the first literal, meaning of it is in line with the context in 1 Corinthians 11. Okay, because it talks about how to keep the Pasach worthily, but also, as we know, since it's literature, there's many layers to it. So I can use it for this context, and in this context, it means that you got to judge the right way. Meaning your action has to be very thorough, and that way you won't be judged. So let's get into it, man. Let me read Matthew 18. Let me read Matthew 18. Matthew 18, right? And 15. And he says, moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault, right? Between thee and him alone. And if he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother. So what that law stipulates is the fact that you have to go to a brother. If there's an issue, you have to go to the brother and speak to him. Now, let's say if the brother doesn't have, I mean, you don't have his phone or whatever, and you know his channel, you can leave a comment like I did. I did a few days ago. There's the brother that called me a certain name, and I didn't like it, I didn't appreciate it. And when it was reported to me, instead of bitching about it, instead of calling brothers and talking hours about it, I went down. That's how I move. I went directly. I'm trying to be biblical here, man. So that's not being emotional. I'm gonna call it like it is, man. You see, that's not being emotional. That's being a real man. You think about this society, everything is off balance, and men act like women and women act like men. So we don't know how to act. You see, I come from a background where men will check you, man. They're gonna be talking about it. Like they're gonna call the next man and tell him, no, they will check you. That's how I move. And it's biblical. It's biblical. That's why I know that I'm a Jake, because that's all my family did. It's all biblical, man. Hebrewism. I grew up in Hebrewism. Okay, and that's how it's supposed to be. When the brother offends you, you go and check him, knock on his door. It doesn't mean now that you're emotional, that you want to go to war and it's no. That's how men do operate. And the spirit of shoving things under the rug is a feminine spirit, because, and very soon I'll do a lesson on the issue of the hearts, because one thing we don't talk about, and one issue that we don't treat in this truth, is the issue of the heart that we bring into the truth. And if these things are not dealt with, it's a mess, man. So a man should not keep things under the rug. That's a feminine trait. And this queendom, right, or this kingdom has that culture, man. But don't you know that when you keep things inside you, it destroys you? A lot of the sickness come from that. A lot of the sicknesses come from that. A lot of the mental health issues come from that. When you suppress emotions, you're not supposed to suppress emotions. You're supposed to put on a table. Obviously, there's a way of doing it. I'll give you an example. When I went and spoke to the brother on his channel, I put 2 precepts. Matthew 18 and 15, I put as well, I believe, Matthew 5 and 22. So it's about being, scriptural when you go and check your brother as well. Right? So we got to be able to judge matters. That's one. And also, in this truth, which I will pull up a precept quickly. Let me see. There's a precept when he says, Proverbs 25 and 9. Argue your case with your neighbor without betraying another's confidence. Right? And let me go to the NLT and see what it says, what it means. Proverbs 25 NLT. Right? It says, when arguing with your neighbor, don't betray another person's secret. All right. So if you had a conversation with a brother and you say, "Yo, brother, this is where it ends, and we're not talking about it. Why are you making a video about it? Or why are you making a video about it?" If you call me and say, "Look, we're not talking about that anymore. Why are you teaching about it? Why are you making a video about it?" And I think this whole thing about doing video and and throwing subliminals is weak. If you got a problem with a brother, go and speak to him. And once you spoke to him and you have that agreement, it stays there. Okay, we should use the hard time to preach, to teach Israel and to make us grow. Obviously, these things as well are part of the gospel, but it has to be done the right way, man. It has to be done with balance. You see, Leviticus 19 and 17 says this: "You must not abhor hatred against your brother in your hearts." You see, the issue of the heart. Because sometimes, let me read something as well, man. Let me find something quickly before I carry on reading the Leviticus 19 and 17. Let me find something quickly. This is what happens sometimes in this truth. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to bring it out. We're gonna have to, because a real prophet, hey, don't mess about. A man of the Lord gonna speak the truth whether you like it or not. Well, he loves. Men of the Lord have a lot of love, but a man of the Lord is not to be played with, because he will tell you about yourself. That's the reason why when the prophet like Samuel and them came around, people were shook, asking him, "Have we done something wrong?" That's the energy. People, when they see you, they should know that this guy is no joke. It's not to be friend with everyone and try to, it's not politics, It's not politics. Okay. So Philippians 1:15 says, "Some indeed preach a Mashiach even of envy and strife, and some also of goodwill." Okay, the one preach a Mashiach of contention, not sincerely, right? Supposing to add affliction to my bonds. Right? But the other of love, knowing that I am set for the defense of the gospel. And the brother used that line to say, "I'm set for the defense of the gospel." When you set for the defense of the gospel, you don't call people piece of shit. You don't call them bitch ass niggas, man. When you're set for the defense, for example, if someone twist the or change the doctrine, then yes, you can do that. But even you don't even have to insult him. Or if someone is like have sex with a brother's wife, or take money from a brother, or rob a brother, malice and the foxy ways, yes, maybe that. But if you insult a brother without cause, that's a bit, that's not being set for the defense of the gospel, man. That's what he said about some indeed preach Christ even of envy and strife. And when we get back to Leviticus 19 and 17, say, you must not abhor hatred against your brother in your heart. The issue of the heart. And I promise I will do a beautiful video about that, a teaching, man. There's a lot of finished business in a lot of us, coming from how, upbringing. There's a lot of hurt that we haven't been able to deal with. And that spill over in this truth. And every time there's a situation, it triggers that. And the way we react emotionally. So that's what it is. But a brother rebuking it, a brother checking the next brother, applying Matthew 18 and 15, is not being emotional, he's being biblical. Let's not change it. Let's not, misplace the terms. Okay? No, let's not do that. It's very important. Okay, so you must not abhor hatred against your brother in your heart. Directly rebuke your neighbor. So when you go an issue with your neighbor, you go and knock on his door. "Neighbor, how you doing? Did you have a good day? How was work today? How's family? Neighbor, you know, I just want to speak to you, my brother. We love. And you hug them before. How you doing? You hug them to show them that, to reassure them you're not coming, you know, in violence, but you're coming with, you know, in peace. But you must speak what you have in your hearts. Directly rebuke your neighbor so that you will not incur guilt on account of him. Let's go to what it means. Let's go to Leviticus 19 NLT. Let's see what it says. Leviticus 19:17 NLT. And he reads, do not nurse hatred in your heart for any of your relative, and in this truth is your brothers. You know, confront people directly so you will not be held guilty for the sin. So it's a commandment, it's an ordinance. Okay, it's a commandment, it's an ordinance to check your brother if you feel that he disrespected you. So no more, and I'm making it clear, no brother, I love you, I love all my brothers, I love you all, and I don't have to repeat myself every time. You know I love you, all my brothers, but please, no brother should call me. If you call me about a situation and you want to open you want to pour out, that's good as well. Sometimes it's therapy as well, but not in a way to gossip, not in a way to gossip, not in malice, not in malice, okay? Because I don't want that energy around me. You know, I don't want that energy around me. Okay, let's move on. So, you know, you know, and also something that's very important as well. I'm reading Matthew 18:21 says, then Peter came to Yahushua and asked, Lord, how many times should I forgive my brother who sins against me? Up to 7 times. So you must forgive brothers, man. You know, because when you don't forgive, what happens is that it goes into your subconscious mind and it stays there. So every time the name of the brother comes, it triggers something. And you can act like you love the brother, but it will always, you know, it will always show after a while by your action. Because what you say and your action will be contradictory. You see, so it's very important. So we must forgive one another sincerely. Again, the issue of the heart. Sometimes for certain brothers, it's not easy to forgive, though they claim that or they portray that they're forgiven, but you can see in the action that they haven't really forgiven. That's what's happening in the truth. I believe that brother, that call me piece of shit, he has that issue of unforgiveness. And I'm saying it now on wax, and it's recorded, man. You know, and I know that's the case. But I should pray for the brother, which I did already, and I should forgive him. You know, so when I came to him and I spoke to him, it's not because I want to see him and check him and that. When I say I was going to meet him, because it's good to let's have a conversation. Because you see, this whole internet and phone thing, sometimes it kind of like, you know, mess up the way the message is conveyed. It takes away the purity of what you want to say to the brother. You see, it distorts, you know, the impact of what you want to say to the brother. So let's take that into consideration. All right. Right. So, you know, let's read some more precepts. You know, Galatians 6:1. Brothers, if someone is caught in a trespass, you who are spiritual, because just going and doing a lesson and subliminally dissing the brother, and I will speak. You see, you know me. I mean, I try to be mellow, but this is not me. So I'm gonna be me now. You know, I'm gonna be me. There's no point trying to be, you know, something to please other brothers. I'm gonna be me now. I'm coming back to me. Yarazakal, I'm gonna be me, because that's all I know. You know, the more Yahweh is requiring me to be me in this ministry, so I'm gonna be me, right? So I'm saying this. Galatians 6:1 say, brothers, if someone is caught in a trespass, meaning if somebody did something that you feel is not right, this is how you move. You say, you who, and I'm guilty of being harsh at times. I'm guilty of that. And I change my ways. I will never go to a certain, in a certain spirit. As far as saying, brother, I will always treat brother fairly and things like that. But I will always speak the truth. That's what I mean by being me, right? So he say, brothers, if someone is caught in a trespass, you who are spiritual, meaning the Bible says in Romans 7:4 that the law is spiritual. So a lawgiver, a judge is spiritual, meaning he knows how to discern the things and the matters in order to be able to judge in the right way. Okay, so brothers, if someone is caught in a trespass, you who are spiritual shall restore him in a spirit of gentleness. So, you should know brothers around you. We come from all walks of life. Some brothers have been bruised in life, So when they come in this truth, all they want is a hug and love and how you talk to them. Sometimes you gotta be hard, but sometimes you gotta be cool. So he call the brother, look, brother, this and this and this and that. And after that, you don't make a video about it. You leave it like that. You leave it like that, because when you make a video about it, it feel betrayed. It's like, bro, we spoke about it. You go and make a video about it again. Feel betrayed. So let's learn to speak to brothers, man. Let's learn to call them and speak to them directly instead of doing the other ways. It's not right. I'm being real. I'm sorry, but I have to be real on this one, right? Brothers, if someone is caught in a trespass, you who are spiritual should restore him in a spirit of gentleness, right? But watch yourself, or you also may be tempted. So, the same way you move, it's gonna come back to you. That's something we need to understand. It's like the truth is like a revolving door. The same way you open the door to go, that door goes like that. Those two doors, the revolving doors, they go front and they must come back. You see, it's like a boomerang effect. It goes and it comes back. So how you deal is how you're gonna be dealt with. You see, and that's something I had to learn, right? So that's it, man. Second Thessalonians 3:15 says, ye do not regard him as an enemy, but warn him as a brother. So in everything we do, no malice, no game, just realness. This truth is real. When you read about the prophet, they were very real people, man. Very real people. Okay. And also, this is something we have to be healers. Right? James, that's my last verse. James 5:19. My brothers, if one of you should wander from the truth and someone should bring him back. Okay? Just that part. My brothers, if one of you should wander from the truth and someone should bring him back. Meaning, we have to bring back brothers, man. No matter what. Do you know what a phone call will do to a brother? And sometimes we have to be able to discern. You're supposed to have dreams and discern. When you sit there and it's like, that I know I offended the brother. I feel when a brother is not happy with me. I feel it. And then you give him a phone call and that. But all of that other thing, that's the worldly stuff, man. It's the worldly stuff. It's easy talking, anybody can teach, but you're gonna have it's applying. That's the most difficult, man. So that's what I wanted to say. Hopefully, it touch whoever it must touch. I want to touch everyone. I want to touch everyone. But that's what I wanted to say, man. Practicing Matthew 18:15, meaning let's be more stuck directly, and let's leave the subliminals and all of these things. That's feminine. Okay, let's be real about things now. And it will help us, because at the end of the day, we need one another. I don't want a situation where, I don't want to be a Ryan brother in Jacob trouble because of the past. So we got a lot of work to do, man. We got a lot, and the angel are watching and they're reporting to Yahweh, man. With that, shalom. Kalayam la Yahweh, Shem Yahushai. Shalom.